Highlanders and everyone else, welcome to the 12th episode of the Nürburgring track day. And yeah, I don't know how many cars are left, but so yeah, enjoy. Today we are driving the Renault Clio Cup, which is obviously the little small hatchback. You can either do the normal Renault Clio or the Cup version, and I decided to go for the Cup version because, well, it handles a little bit better, depending, and a little bit more speed, but this was an actually really small sports car to drive because it's just so small and tiny, as it's a hatchback and whatnot. So yeah, I left it as default at first when testing it out, and then I realised that it was actually really poor at handling, so I had to change the tyres for it to handle well, because I just kept spinning out, which wasn't really nice. So I thought I was going to have to leave this car out, and just like, nope, I'm going to try and get it. So I was just tweaking the tyres everywhere, and I was just hoping it to just stick to the concrete and stick to the track well. But yeah, as always, we've come to that point. Now for some stats about the Renault Clio Cup. This car has a top speed of 151, as Project Cars says, but isn't correct. And 219 horsepower, which is a reasonable amount, but obviously which isn't correct again, as I looked into the real life version of this Renault Clio, and it's probably like 217 apparently, yeah. And the top speed was apparently 141 or 139, I can't remember which one, because there's two models, both different years and whatnot, so they're both different, so that's completely fucked up, isn't it? So yeah, now to the 100 to 0 and 0 to 100. So yeah, first of all, the 0 to 100, which comes in at 5.59 seconds, which is really long for this car to pick up. You don't want to use it, to be fair. Any other hatchback, you would either go with the full focus, or I can't remember which other one you'd go for, but you just wouldn't choose the Renault Clio Cup because it doesn't handle well. It takes time just to set it up and everything. You just don't want to use it, but it's good nevertheless. So if you want to use it, you can. But then the 100 to 0, which is the braking, comes in at 2.28 seconds, which is reasonable. I mean, it does brake quickly as it's quite small, and good. It's got good brakes apparently. So it may not have a good engine, but it does have good brakes. Yeah, but that doesn't help with the tyres and whatnot, but yeah, you have to change those just a bit. And the weight is 2,557 pounds, which is quite heavy to be fair. I was expecting it to be like 1,000 pounds, but no, it's somehow, even with the roll cage and the engine and like the 1-2 seats probably, and that's it. I thought that would have been so much lighter, but it's not. It's actually quite heavy, to be fair. But yeah, and finally the torque is 196 foot-per-pound. So yeah, I still haven't figured out foot-per-pound yet and what torque actually is. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, obviously if any car fans out there watching this video, then you know what 196 foot-per-pound means in cars. But yeah. So overall, in summarising, this car, to be fair, it does have a relatively good speed, but you don't want to. It's mainly for corners, to be fair. I mean, if you're gonna change the tyres, yes, do that. Change all the default. You'll need to change the default, to be fair, to use this car. Otherwise, if you're an expert at handling it, then yeah, by all means, try and handle it on it in default. I mean, just don't cry if you can't handle it. Just all you need to do is change it. It's not a terrible car, because I think Project Cars done a really terrible thing with making the cars terrible at default, so you have to go into the settings and change them, which in my mind wasn't nice. I mean, sometimes I can handle most of them, but some of them I can't even handle, like this one. I just couldn't handle it, so I just changed tyres. But yeah, so yeah, it's quite a reasonable car to use. I mean, small tracks, yes, but don't use it on really open straights and big tracks. You want to use something like a Ford Focus, or is it a Mercedes AMG A45, which I did last week, that is a much better car to use over the Renault Clio Cup for sure, and so's the Ford Focus definitely, which that video is coming probably tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, I'd say tomorrow, because I'll get my shit ton out this week. But yeah, sort of running out of things to say here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I really like making these Project Cars videos. I really like doing these. It's quite a lot of fun to me. It fills up my free time, and so I just get to edit for like a couple of hours and piece them together and drive the cars. You may think, oh, it's an 8-minute video, but obviously I am driving around the Nürburgring, which does take 8 minutes in this car. But I'm doing that 2, 3, 4, 5 times, to be fair, just to see just to test the car at first. I don't just go straight out there and to test it and hope for the best, because 9 times out of 10, if I go out there first time, it would just be absolutely terrible, and I wouldn't use that footage whatsoever. So I have to test it so many times, just so I'm perfect. As I said, I was spinning at the start, so I have to test it and default it and just tweak it a lot. So this car took quite a long time to do. So yeah, that's why I'm like uploading at 5 o'clock right now. So it did take a fair while. So yeah, I hope you appreciate this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't, then don't worry about it, you can always come back. So you know, yeah, and leave comments, because I read comments. I like replying to comments, and yeah, who knows. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave my talking here and just sort of play music in the background right now. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.